Is BMW's automatic shift system on the GS just a comfort feature, or can you ride properly sportily with it too? That is the answer in this video. In our 1000 PS best timetable, you will find several videos with the BMW R 1300 GS in different versions, and of course 100 other bikes. This time I rode a BMW R 1300 GS on Bridgestone T33 tires. They are fitted because, I think tomorrow, we are doing our big adventure bike comparison test 2026, with several adventure bikes in the same capacity and price class on the same tires. Here I also have the ASA configuration. At the start of the 2026 season, that is interesting because we now have 12 degrees asphalt temperature. It is quite cold, so I want to see how it rides. Is it for gliding along, or can you ride sportily with it as well? When you do laps on the GS, also compared with other bikes or GS models, it is always impressive how accessible sporty speed is here. You get on, look at the line, and quickly trust the front and rear tires, even though it is cold. Once you are immersed in the GS world and know the traits of the Boxer engine and the front end, you are quickly at a good level. You feel, okay, I am on the right bike. This is my thing. With this, I can conquer everything I want to conquer. And getting back into sporty riding after not having ridden sportily for a while and not being on a racetrack this winter was made easy by the GS. I understand GS riders who say, this is my thing, my universal talent for everyday life and tours. That is the GS, and today showed again that it does this well. The tire also worked well. It comes up to operating temperature quickly, does not hold the GS back, and the Bridgestone T33 has neutral, pleasant handling and good straight line stability. I think it is a good partnership. But now to the automatic shift system. Here's the thing. I am not sure whether I did it correctly, and some people in the comments will probably get angry. I do not know exactly how to make a fast, sporty start with it. Giving full throttle in neutral and then pressing first gear in, I am not sure what happens. I selected first, gave it a little throttle, put some tension into the drivetrain, and then opened the throttle. It feels fairly unspectacular because I basically do nothing. No clutch and no letting the engine howl. But it may well be quick because you cannot do much wrong. There may also be better options. Strangely, this press bike does not have the Dynamic or Dynamic Pro package. I only have road mode, so it is not fully configured, even if these classy wheels suggest otherwise. It does not have all the extras for an R1300 GS. With this start, I am not sure whether I did it correctly or whether I was quick. But it was accessible, simple and pleasant. For a classic traffic light start without needing to win a race, it is obviously great. One thing I also have to mention, we only have 10 laps in total, so I'm not busy configuring the bike and constantly choosing settings. I leave these laps in road mode and try to get a feeling for the bike quickly. I noticed that in the gearbox's automatic mode for very sporty riding, especially in tricky conditions like here with tight corner combinations, it is better if I decide when the gear changes happen. So I switched to manual mode. That is basically a quick shifter on steroids. You can shift up and down without the clutch and without blipping the throttle. It does all that. The gear changes are fast. But if you leave it in automatic mode, it is probably good on the road in normal traffic. When conditions become more delicate though, for example, if I were riding very sportily up the Stelvio pass, it may be better to switch to manual mode. That is my analysis, because everyone asks for a comparison. If I compare it with a DCT from Honda, for example, on the Africa Twin, the gear changes on the Honda DCT are faster. This is not a full DCT rival, but it is a good alternative for people who like a classic control concept, a gear lever for shifting up and down, something they understand, but who still want to ride in automatic mode for 95% of the day. It is a good upgrade. In the editorial team, I have seen that most people in touring leave it activated, glide along and use the speed. Now to the other basics. Here I have practical rider assistance systems. They supported me well on the track and did not hold me back. I have good brakes. With the engine, I kept wandering between first and second gear, asking which corner was better in which gear. In the end, it was almost irrelevant. In first, you have a little more room and movement. In second, a little less torque. Although with the GS everything is relative. Most of the time, power and torque are there in huge quantities. If I had to estimate it, I would say I rode a very good time overall. And there was not a drop of sweat involved. Pleasant, confident, no fear. And yet it is such a potent machine with such a high weight and such good ride comfort. It is really nice to see the high-level motorcycles have now reached not only in price, but also in accessibility in this big capacity class. Still, compare it with other bikes while keeping the asphalt temperature in mind. It is so low today that it certainly has an influence. But please compare critically with the names of the bikes I am still riding today. You will see that in the table where the same asphalt temperatures are listed, it is very comparable. And today, here in Bad Fischau on the Supermoto track, we are riding all the adventure bikes on the Bridgestone T33, so it is a good comparison for you. Dear GS riders, please post below, what are your experiences with traffic light starts using ASA? Is it a good alternative to the manual gearbox for you? And what is your impression after many kilometers with it? Please enrich the video. Thank you for your input and feedback. Thanks, bye and baba. See you next time on 1000 PS TV.